episode about the games that I played and beat in 2021. So I'll admit I didn't go crazy gaming this year. 2020 was more active than 2021. I got the PS5 and I blew through my initial games that I wanted to beat on the PS5 within a few months of owning the system, and I haven't really played it since. I actually didn't beat any PS5 games in 2021. I beat them all during the holiday of 2020. So there's no PS5 games on this list, but it's a small list. Hopefully 2022 will be more productive. I'm going to try to get through my backlog, and I have more videos on that coming up in the future, so we'll see that later. So to start, I played this game a ton, not as a kid because it's before my time, but I have played it because I appreciate it. But that's The Legend of Zelda, the original on the NES. This is just a generic box, but I finally did get around to beating this game, and once you finally beat the game, I feel like you can appreciate it more for what it is. It's a tough game. I tried my best not to use any walkthroughs. There were some like caves and stuff that I couldn't find, so I used a map I just Googled a map of the secret caves. But the game is definitely tough and rewarding, and for its time, it was a pioneer for its time for sure. And I'm a huge Zelda fan, so. And speaking of Zelda, the second game is Link's Awakening. I never played Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, but I bought this one, and I love the art style. The art style is really cool. It's really like cartoony, almost looks like action figures, like toys. This game is a lot of fun and really rewarding as well. It is very hard to figure out what you need to do though. There's a lot of trading, so there's a lot of like getting this item and then giving this item here to get this item to give to this other person. There's a lot of that stuff. I didn't care for that too much, but the dungeons are really fun. Getting up to the egg for the last boss was really fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed this game. And if you want to get into Zelda, this isn't a super long one. You're looking at like 15 to 20 hours, whereas your newer Zeldas are 30 to 40 hours. So I definitely recommend it, but just be prepared that you might get stuck quite a bit with, what items to get, what items to give, all that mess. Um, Another one, this was probably my favorite game of the year, is Metroid Dread. I'm not like huge into Metroid. I like Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo. I never beat it, but I did like it. Um, I saw this one coming out, and it's got the 2D side-scrolling action like the older ones, not the first-person Metroid Prime ones. And yeah, gave it a shot. I beat the game. It is difficult. People complain about the difficulty. It is difficult, but it's just you just have to have patience. Like if you learn the boss's patterns, you'll get through the game. It's really not that crazy, compared to other games, but it is difficult. So there's that. This one is a story. So Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't have nostalgia for Final Fantasy VII. I didn't play it when I was a kid. I tried to go back and play it as an adult. I'm not a huge turn-based. I like some turn-based games, but I prefer action. Luckily, this one is not turn-based. This is live. This is action hack and slash sort of RPG. My problem with this game, I love the game. It was good. My problem is I felt like it was drug out. The story was drug out. There was so many cutscenes. There's like 11 hours of cutscenes in this game. It took me like 30 hours to beat it, and I didn't do much of the side stuff, and 11 hours of that was cutscenes. If you're into that stuff, good for you, but it was getting a little bit boring, and I was almost ready for it to be over. So I love the game. It's a good game. I do recommend playing it. I like the combat. It was a beautiful game. The graphics are amazing, but just be prepared to watch a few movies with this one because it's like a movie almost. The next one here is Blue Fire. If you like Zelda, you might like it. It is an indie game. There are a lot of glitches. There's a lot of Um, Issues with the game, like towards the end of the game, I lost all sound to the game. I had no sound out of the game. That was a little irritating. Um, I love the art style, and it is, it is more like the 3D Zelda games. Um, Finding where to go can be difficult at times, but I do think it's worth playing. I picked it up, I think it was $30 when it came out, so if you can get it for 15, $20, I do think it's worth a try if you like the Zelda type games. If you don't like Zelda type games, then I wouldn't even fool with it. Because it is the platforming in this. It's like a mix between Zelda and people say like Hollow Knight, which I never played Hollow Knight, but the platforming in it is very difficult. There's actually like runes that you go into where it's just the whole thing is just you're just platforming, and it's very difficult. And so yeah, it's a mix between Zelda and a platformer sort of. I do recommend it though. If you can get it on the cheap, I do recommend it. The last game I have is The Order 1886. Now, I got this game for like $10 from a friend of mine, and I've always wanted to try it. When it came out, people were saying that it wasn't good. It got a lot of bad reviews, it got a lot of bad hype. People were hyped for it, but then when it came out, people just didn't like it. So I kind of stayed away from it, and finally got around to playing it now. And let me just say, like, this game is one of the best looking PS4 titles. Like, it's up there. And this was like, it wasn't, I don't think it was a launch title, but it was close to launch. This is an old game. The graphics are insanely good. Um, and the story is a little dull. It takes place in, I think it's like you're in like London. It's during like the Victoria era, sort of. So, hundreds of years ago. And there's, werewolves you have to hunt down pretty much. The story's not the best. Um, but you know, there is some moments that'll catch you off guard, some crazy stuff. This is not kid friendly game. There is full nudity, probably some of the most nudity I've seen in a game. Um, and there's sex scenes in the game, so definitely not for kids, but a really good game. I actually platinumed this. The platinum's not hard either. I mean, the game itself, you're looking at maybe 10 hours to beat the game, and then you're looking at another maybe 2 or 3 hours to get the platinum. It's an easy platinum. So I do recommend it, and it's cheap, and I definitely think it was worth the playthrough. I really recommend this game. Actually, it's one of my favorites. So that's all I beat this year. Like I said, it's not much. Hopefully, 2022 will yield more. Like I said, I have some videos coming up where I'm going to be going over my embarrassing backlog, and I'm going to be trying to tackle the backlog 1 month at a time. So every month I'll put a video out showing what I beat that month. So you can kind of like follow me along on my journey to tackle it. I don't think I'm going to get through the whole backlog in 1 year, but I would like to make a serious dent in it, especially some of these games that I should have beaten as a child that I never beat as a child. So stay tuned. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe if you want to see everything I put out when it comes out. And I'll see you guys on the next one.